now we're coming to another deviation because it's splitting because we're reaching the big junction with the Hull line at this point.
At Hambleton.
Indeed. In fact, this. Yeah,
lovely. That looks lovely and complicated, doesn't it?
Yes, so what's going on here, and I'm sure we'll see some of the drawings, there'll be B-roll, I'll put B-roll in, is actually where they diverted the Hull line, the line going, it's the kind of going off towards Selby, but the kind of the straight line bit. They diverted it off where, built a temporary, essentially temporary level crossing on the existing line, so they could offline build the railway going up over the Selby diversion. It's all very clever. For clarity, I'll just explain that again. Ignore the fact that the Selby diversion is on this aerial photograph, as is the construction compound for electrification at this end of the. Ignore all that. For now, just imagine you've got the Leeds and Selby Railway in nice kind of clear ground, running pretty much dead. In fact, definitely dead straight here. Leeds and Selby Railway. So if you want to build the Selby diversion, with a Hull road going along, that's the Hull road is the road that you use to basically carry all the materials along the route of the railways. The advantage of building the new infrastructure is that you can create the Hull road on the footing of where you're eventually going to put your railway. Very useful. Anyway, so they built the Hull road. Essentially built a temporary level crossing with white painted gates, a little sort of crossing hut, kind of crossing keeper's hut. Built a little level crossing. At that point, they could then build. Also before I go on, don't forget the chords as well. So the chords, the double track chord on the going from northwards to westwards, and then the other chord going from kind of allowing trains to go from York to Hull. The course there for Hambleton Junction. So you've got they can then offline essentially create a gentle kink in the alignment of the Leeds and Selby Railway, but also more crucially elevate it to get it over the top of the Selby diversion to allow for clearance for electrification, of course, as well. So you can see this slightly realigned Leeds and Selby Railway. So no longer is it a perfect straight. You've got a shallow curve, and then another shallow curve, then another shallow curve, then another shallow curve. Essentially, two reverse curves to get you onto a nice alignment over this new bridge. In fact, here's a nice picture, a nice black and white picture here, a nice aerial photograph showing that under construction. You can see in the foreground-ish, you've got you've got the site compound for a lot of the work going on, because I think the P-way stuff was going on here as well. But anyway, I digress. You can see the construction of the chord in the foreground. You can see the slightly sort of tighter chord in the kind of beyond the connecting point between the two. You can see the little level crossing built between the Hull road and the existing Leeds and Selby Railway, and then you can see the Hull road and the route of the future Selby diversion, that wonderful sweeping route, disappearing off gracefully into the top left hand corner of the picture there. Marvellous. So that means they can then essentially abandon the existing alignment of the former alignment of Leeds and Selby Railway, and trains can run on the realignment while they continue building the Selby diversion, which is exactly what happened. Eventually you get the completed Selby diversion with the completed kind of two chords. Hambleton Junction here looking very smart, very nice. And if you kind of flick back and forth, you can see that there is now not a straight but a slight kink in the Leeds and Selby Railway, allowing for this method of construction, a very common way to kind of create grade separation or take an existing railway over a new railway. And indeed, here's a picture of kind of an interesting position where the level crossing is still in place. It's still got the crossing gates and the little keeper's hut. But also, trains have just been diverted onto the new Leeds and Selby Railway alignment. As you can see, this nice kind of skew intersection bridge here. At the top, horizontally vertically realigned Leeds and Selby Railway, and at the bottom, little level crossing between the original railway, the original Leeds and Selby Railway, and the Selby diversion Hull road. And of course, there's also a little BR Class 123 on its way to Hull here. Very nice.